Good day. My name is Felimon Blanco, a faculty of journalism and drama at the Jose Rizal Memorial State University Dipolog campus in Dipolog City. Today, I shall be presenting to you my paper titled Performing Live in Facebook Live During the Pandemic. An unheard virus disturbed the rehearsal rooms and live concerts, bringing the arts and entertainment industries to an abrupt stop beginning in the month of March 2020. The cultural and creative sectors suffered because of the COVID-19 pandemic, with the performing arts sector being badly hit. Performance activities were among the first to stop due to their nature as cultural activities that require the actual presence of an audience, which were no longer permitted due to the pandemic. Theaters were forced to close. Dance halls were closed. Music gigs were canceled. The performing arts industry was at a standstill. After the first blow of the pandemic, creatives began to migrate toward technology to interact with their audiences, which surprisingly came through in an unexpectedly good and enriching ways. Whether it was to simply maintain human contact, read plays together, or brainstorm ideas for their audiences, family, and members, albeit often from their home due to global restrictions and national lockdowns. When the nation was battling COVID-19, priorities were given to the medical field and the military. In the Philippines, the arts were labeled as non-essential. However, from a variety of aspects, the performing arts industry was essential, including its contributions to the economy and society, employment, sustainable development, tourism, education, and a variety of well-being advantages. Significantly, various performing artists and their groups started to adjust and use technology to continue their creative works. They discovered new ways and models of creating works and sharing it to their audiences. Artists migrated their creative projects online via Facebook Live, Zoom, StreamYard, and some other online platforms. Technology is unquestionably here to stay and will continue to improve. Because of the recent worldwide constraints, there had been a desire to think outside the box and attempt new approaches. Facebook Live shows. Is this new channel, on the other hand, likely to endure in the future? The pandemic presented an exciting opportunity to be creative and apply those concepts to a new situation, since creative were forced to face concerns of space and distance, not only between the performers, but also between the actors and the audience. In the case of the theater sector, the creatives started to produce theater productions that were recorded and streamed online. However, there were also several groups that staged productions that were performed live by the actors and broadcast live via social media platforms. This was to keep the live element of theater production. Theater companies were compelled to innovate in various ways to claim their relevance during the pandemic. At a time when theater groups migrated to online performances through the screenings of recordings of past productions, there were questions about the demarcation line between theater and film. Streaming online of the recordings of past productions received questions about it being film showing rather than a live theater production. Live actors always perform theater in front of a live audience. But how can performances be live during the pandemic? It was in this context that this author devised and collaborated with actors in developing Bailo, a two-actor play performed remotely in two separate spaces and stage managed by a virtual and technical team located in another space. This was Teatro Gindigan's entry to the 4th edition of Paris Mindanao Duo Festival, a live theater festival of two-actor plays where entries were performed live from the home places of the participating groups and will live stream via Facebook Live. The contention of this author was, it is not theater when it is being recorded and just streamed online. The production in study was Bailo, a Teatro Gindigan live theater project that was virtually staged in November 2020 as entry to the 4th Paris Mindanao Duo Festival, funded by the Cultural Center of the Philippines under the Kalinga sa Sining Project. Bailo was a story of two best friends whose friendship was tested by the desire for survival in the time of the pandemic. It followed the story of Calvin and Daniel, who both work as crew in a food establishment. Due to the pandemic, the establishment had to retrench crew for cost-cutting measures. Daniel schemed so he can be reinstated instead of Calvin. In Bailo, the two actors performed remotely in two separate spaces, which was live-streamed by a technical team in a separate space. The script was collectively devised by the actors based on their independent research on the situation of food industry workers during the time of the pandemic. A virtual stage and technical team managed and operated the live performances. The two actors performed in makeshift spaces in their homes, which used a single smartphone to capture audio and video and was transmitted to the virtual technical team for digital setup. Each space had their own on-site virtual stage manager who coordinated with the virtual stage manager who sat and managed the flow of the performance with the technical team. The virtual stage management and technical team used StreamYard as a platform for virtual control. Both smartphones from the two remote spaces of the actors were connected to the StreamYard, from which they live stream it directly online via Facebook Live. Performing in real time to be broadcast online via Facebook Live pushed creatives to be innovative in meeting these unique challenges that also give them opportunities to explore new platforms in performance. Creatives were able to discover the blending of the elements of conventional live performance and the interactive possibilities using the online platforms. They faced production challenges and gained new learning opportunities. In the case of Teatro Gindigan's experimentation of doing live theater via Facebook Live, there were several challenges that the artistic team faced, but they also gained new learning opportunities to do creative works using the digital technology, adhering to the idea of theater without borders. This author identified three challenges faced in staging Facebook Live performances. First, performing to a smartphone camera in found spaces. Second, challenging technical and virtual stage setup. Third, absence of audience feedback. Teatro Gindigan's Bailo faced great challenges in putting up live virtual theater that would connect with the virtual audiences. Prior to the performance of the entry, there were several sessions of virtual technical rehearsals to familiarize the actors on how to use the smartphone camera as co-actor in the remote performance spaces. Virtual technical rehearsals became one of the primary considerations in this type of work to troubleshoot issues of connectivity and camera source setup. The actors were also looking for the warmth of the audience reception. First, performing to a smartphone camera in found spaces. Performing in a live stream platform meant that actors needed to adapt to camera positions. Apart from acting in the actual performance space, actors needed to adjust acting styles to be seen, captured, and be heard by their virtual audience. Normal actors' routines in the acting space had to be precise for camera capture. They had to be aware where the camera was positioned. Found objects within their homes became their natural production design. Bedrooms, kitchens, salas, and backyards became performance spaces. Second, challenging technical and virtual stage setup. One of the greatest challenges in doing virtual live theater projects was the use and presence of camera setup for audio-visual needs that must be captured for live broadcast. Smart camera phones could not capture good sound quality that was needed for good audio-visual transmission. Hence, the creatives devised that the scenes would take place inside their bedrooms as found spaces of performances. In this way, problems of noise in found spaces would be solved. In like manner, the intermittent internet connection caused glitches that disrupted performances. Camera malfunctions caused by issues of the online software that were used in the live streaming also caused technical issues that must be dealt with accordingly in the middle of a performance. Hence, this demanded actors to be flexible to adapt immediately if technical issues arose due to connectivity issues or even gadget issues. Third, Absence of audience feedback. The reactions of the live audience in a live performance fuels the actor's energy. The laughter, applause, gasp, and even their breathing send signals to the actors regarding the impact of the play on the audience. This was absent in Facebook Live performances, the immediate feedback from the audience. In a live stream performance, the feedback of the audience were translated into real-time comments as the play progressed online, as well as the emojis, small digital picture or pictorial symbol that represents a thing, feeling, concept, etc., used in text messages and other electronic communications. These were delayed feedback that failed to fuel the performance of the actors. Usually, actors look for this kind of immediate interaction, warmth, and connection with the audience. Applause in a performance is an important part of people to feel that they are in a communal space, to hear people's reactions to what you shared. There are also 3 new learning opportunities gained. First, hybridity of theater performance. Second, improvisation in real-time online performance. Third, increased audience reach and interaction. While there were issues and challenges that creatives face, they also found new learning opportunities and models of performance that they could use for future works that would necessitate hybrid platforms of performance. First, hybridity of theater performance. Performing live theater via Facebook Live offered new ways of storytelling. This blend of live theater and digital platforms provided many creative opportunities for theater makers. It allowed them to find new ways of making relevant works. Actors might interact with online graphics and use pre-recorded audio-video elements that could be embedded into their live performance to make it appear in real live theater. Second, improvisation in real-time online performance. Performing real-time in a live stream production meant anything can happen and can go wrong. This allowed actors to be more spontaneous to adapt to the changes in virtual performance, just like in traditional theater formats. Technical glitches caused by internet connectivity should be factored into the preparation of a virtual live theater performance. This should be part of the virtual technical rehearsals to prepare the creatives for this technical challenge. Actors needed to be prepared to troubleshoot when technical support failed in the middle of a performance. Third, increased audience reach and interaction. Facebook Live performances provided more accessible opportunities for people who might not be able to go to a theater to watch a performance. This type of theater performance reached a wider audience, unlike traditional theater, where the audience needed to go to the physical theater to watch. Facebook Live performances had the advantage of global reach because everything was handy and within the fingertips of the target audience. One just needed a smartphone and an internet connection to be able to watch the show via online platforms. Facebook Live as alternative performance platform. The experimentation of Teatro Gindigan in the real-time live performances via Facebook Live resulted in innovative reinventions in creating performances during the pandemic. It provided innovative new experiences for theater audiences. The experiences of the creatives in this study were categorized into 3 main key points. First, keeping the ephemeral nature of theater. Second, converting found space into performance space. And third, humanizing technology in performance. In conclusion, this study proved that performing live on Facebook Live results in artists' innovation and reinvention to claim relevance in the time of the pandemic. Creatives were engaged in innovating their performances, riding on technology as the hybrid medium of performance to be relevant in unprecedented times. Experimenting with live virtual theater in this new context elevated digital initiatives from being secondary to major modes of creative expression and audience engagement during the pandemic. Live streaming of real-time actors' performance maintained the ephemerality of theater that kept its core intact, allowing audience to experience live and fleeting moments in the time of the pandemic. Thank you very much for listening.